Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Curry, Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline report tonight is Doris Burke. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, Chris Paul.
Well, one of the toughest commodities to find in this league, Kevin, is a great point guard, not only on the floor, but off the floor. Chris Paul is a model leader. He's a guy who is probably as talented as any point guard in the league, but his leadership qualities, I think, put him over the top.
It isn't just the inspiration off the court or making big-time baskets. The way he passes is infectious to his team. It's contagious, and it usually ends up permeating the whole team. Same goes for his defense. He'll come up with that big steal and can completely change the momentum with the kind of plays he can make at both ends of the floor.
Last game for the Bobcats, the loss to the Nets. Here's West. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, for the Bobcats, some tough luck in the lottery the last few seasons. They had the worst record in 12, but they missed out on Anthony Davis. The second worst record last season, but they fell to the 4 pick. And they need so much help, but the lottery fortune hasn't gone their way.
And Clark, you mentioned the struggles last year for the Bobcats. Last season, the worst defense, second worst in rebounding, and Steve, the third worst in offense.
They just didn't have enough talent. It's been a long struggle for this team the last few years, and the roster is starting to grow. It's starting to build, but there's still a lot of work to be done in Charlotte.
Shot's good by Walker.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas. Drains those.
Paul with the ball. He's coming off a 22-point game against Indiana.
Kevin, his passing is what blew me away. To see him orchestrate their offense so impeccably, that was a sight to behold.
5 on the clock. Aminu misses.
Al-Farouq Aminu out of Wake Forest, a combo forward, really trying to become a 3. Still working on his shooting and ball handling ability, but tremendous potential.
Now here's Mayo. Here's Jefferson. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, I had a chance to speak with head coach Doc Rivers. I asked him what their focal point would be defensively, and he said that Al Jefferson is at the top of their scouting report. With his smooth, low-post repertoire and mid-range shooting touch, he can put up points in a hurry. He said they'll try to steer him to his left hand as much as possible and just hope for the best. Kevin, we'll see if they can force him into a tough night.
Thanks, Doris. Mayo kicks to Millsap. Wide open look. Again, the Bobcats score.
And Steve, if Aminu can develop his offense, he'll be a really valuable player because he's long and athletic, and he has real potential to be an impact player defensively.
West, Millsap covering. Soft touch off the glass. The Los Angeles Clippers come into this one following a loss to Indiana.
Yeah, it seemed to me their three-point shooting was their own worst enemy in that game, Clark. Even their wide-open looks weren't falling.
Yeah, and I'm sure when they think back on that game, Steve, their main regret is going to be that they didn't get away from the three-point shot early on. They kept going to it.
It's O.J. Mayo on the wing. Off target from three-point range. The Clippers have gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. For Los Angeles, they have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line. And the free throw no good, but they'll get the ball back here.
You go through the regular season, guys, and set all sorts of records for your franchise and wins and winning streaks and all that. You win your division for the first time ever, your first 50-win season, and what do you get for it? Bounced in the first round of the playoffs. It's still progress, though, and I think the Clippers will use that for motivation this season.
Charlotte trailing. Right side, Mayo. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. It's on Andres Beatrice. There it is, guys. That Olay defense Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Paul with the ball. He's picked up by Walker. The drive by Paul. Redick. 6 on the shot clock. Pietrich passes to Redick. Paul with the 3. And out of bounds as the Bobcats gain possession.
A look here at last year in the NBA, where the Bobcats ranked. 6th in blocks, 8th in lowest turnovers per game. As far as free throw shooting as a team goes, not a strong suit. Top 20 in the league. A little bit of work to be done there.
And what really stands out is the blocks for me, because that's a team that really dominated the paint area. And when they were on top of their game, they were very physical. They fronted the post a lot, forced some difficult shots at the rim. And due to their length and their size, they were able to block a lot of shots down there.
Now Paul, after the missed 3 from Lou Aldett. Stolen by Walker. Lays it up and banks it in. Walker's got his second basket of the night.
Late reaction from the defense, and he's always going to make good on that.
Paul outside. Pass to West. West draws the double. Paul guarded by Walker. Paul kicks it to West. Top of the key. Kicks it out to Paul. No good off the back of the rim.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Shot's good by Walker.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
The defense has to make an adjustment. They've got to string together some stops, or at the very least, try to force this team into some bad shots.
He dishes it to Paul. Back to West. Good, and Paul gets the assist. 6 points for David West.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spots. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
And Walker kicks to Jefferson. And El Farouk Aminu gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
Steve Clifford has 13 years of experience as an NBA assistant coach with stops in New York, Houston, Orlando, and Los Angeles, and now as a new coach in Charlotte. I think he's the guy that's going to do well there.
It was Amundsen who checked in for Andres Pietrich. And now the first time out call here for the Bobcats. And Clifford, the 6th head coach in the Bobcats' 10-year history, Steve.
Well, he's a defensive-minded coach. Always been highly regarded around the league. I think he's going to make a good impact in Charlotte.
The Bobcats making a switch here. Anderson's checked in. White. The shot is off. Bobcats leading by 3. Henderson dishes to Walker. Anderson outside. Paul grabs the board.
And you got to like the defense inside, really protecting the rim.
Challenging shots and making his presence felt around the rim, that's exactly what he can give you.
Now here's White. He's coming off a 16-point game against Indiana. Oh, trying for it. And it's on a bounce to the Clippers as the Clippers retain possession.
Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
And Paul gets it to go in.
That finish brings me back to the old days, the silky smooth finger roll.
Walker the pass to Anderson. On the wing, Dang. Walker. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. And here we go. Fast break. Paul's got it. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Guys, we've talked about Chris Paul and his leadership. It's on display off the court as well. He's a member of the Players Union Executive Committee. And after the scathing independent review of the union's leadership, he and his colleagues voted for a change. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Now here's Walker. He has 6. Kicks it to Henderson. He passes to Anderson. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. DeJuan Blair. He's checked in for David West. Millsap kicks to Anderson. Great D that time from Amundsen. You know, Steve, as we kind of shift gears and look beyond just the game itself, Chris Paul and the players' union, perhaps now some closer oversight of how their interests are being handled. I think now they want to tighten the screws a little bit.
Well, they should. That's a good thing, Kevin. The players should know about the business of basketball. They should understand their finances as a union. At the end of the day, it is a business, and you have to have the best representation of people who are going to have your interest in heart.
Back to Walker, to the inside. It's Anderson with the drive.
Chris Anderson, known as the Birdman, possibly because he flies above the rim all the time. He's got a huge wingspan, great reach, leaping ability, blocks a lot of shots down there.
Birdman has always been great at defense, and as he keeps adding years in the league, you know, it's an ability of his that has never diminished. Sebastian Telfair, he's checked in for the Clippers.
You know, for a long time, people would look at Staples as the Lakers' home where the Clippers just happen to be sharing space. But the Clippers let everybody know that they called this Staples Center home as well last year. And I thought they were a force in front of their rabid fans. Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
And it's Walker penetrating. Some solid defense from Blair.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Well, Clark, as you said, the Clippers really starting to make waves on the landscape here in L.A. as they surpassed the Lakers in wins last season. You know, a big part of that was, Steve, their ability to win here at home.
Yeah, 32 wins here at Staples, and when they got out and ran, this place was really rocking. This Clipper team has a roster full of guys that can make a play that ignites a crowd, and some new additions this year, new coaching staff. A lot going on for this Clipper team.
And here are the Clippers now, following the score by Charlotte. Paul against Walker. Paul goes in. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. 5 to shoot. 2 open that time. Made it look too easy. Paul's got 10 points in the game.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they built this lead for themselves here.
Walker dishes to Millsap. Blair on him. Shoots from the post. Millsap misses. The Clippers in the lead. This their first chance this season playing Charlotte.
Well, last year they won both meetings in the season series, and it wasn't a surprise. I mean, this is the better team.
And out of bounds as the Bobcats gain possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
The Bobcats making a switch here. Nelson's checked in. They swipe it. White drives in. Rebounded by Jameer Nelson. You know, Clark, it can be a point of pride. Hey, we split 1-1 with the marquee team from the other conference. But,
it's something to point to, Kevin. When your overall season is a disappointment, that's something that you can look at and say, hey, progress.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Andres Biedrins, who's checked in for Amundsen. And Brian Roberts subbed in for Chris Paul. And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here.
Well, it looks like he wants to toy around with some of their sets and matchups here.
I don't think you can afford to go through a whole game doing the same thing over and over, and you have to be able to adjust on the fly, just like he's doing here.
Boris Diaz checked in for Paul Millsap. Now Telfair, 14 points from him the last game against Indiana.
Did a great job picking the defense apart, too. It wasn't just his scoring. Give him credit for his passing in that game, too.
Clock at 6. Roberts. No good from outside. Got the defender off his feet with the pump fake, but couldn't knock it down. And the call will be against Landry Fields. That's his first foul.
Kevin, well, look here at last year in the NBA where the Clippers ranked. First in steals, 4th in assists. And they also showed up in the top 5 in shooting percentage. This is a team that knows how to execute its offense and get good shots.
And the thing that I like that you talked about, Clark, was the steals, because to me that's their identity as a ball club. Number 1 in the league in thefts. They tried to take the ball away from the offense and really convert at the other end. And when they got that game going, they were really tough.
We've got 1:23 left here in the first quarter. Nelson, the pass to Anderson. Andrew Fields on the wing. Nelson kicks to Fields. And stolen by Blair. And here's the fast break. Telfair leading the way. Kept alive. Jefferson dishes to Beatrice. Here's Roberts. Misses the three. Bobcats trailed by 4. Mayo kicks to Nelson. Feeds to Anderson. Back to Nelson. Dishes to Mayo. Good! And a nice assist from Nelson. And it's 8 points for O.J. Mayo.
Man, that's one of his strengths, knocking down those long-range jumpers.
34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And Blair kicks to Roberts. And it's out of bounds. The Clippers able to retain possession here. 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Just 5 on the clock. Los Angeles needs to get off a shot here. And now it's Mayo running. He can go all the way. Rips down the breakaway slam.
Straight to the bucket with a nice head of steam.
Well, no reason to slow it down when there's nothing in the way.
Telfair, the pass to Jefferson. Blair, Diaw's there. Jefferson kicks to Telfair. And the call will be against O.J. Mayo. That's his first foul. 5 seconds left to play here in the first. Here's Beatrice. And again, no good by the Clippers. A good close contest so far. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Bobcats.
It looks like they're ready to run, fellas. I mean, they haven't hesitated at all to get out on the break so far.
Well, the other thing I like is defensively they're causing turnovers, and that's allowing them to get into transition.
So on the floor for Charlotte to start this second quarter. Landry Fields out there with Boris Diaw. Then it's Mayo. Then it's Jameer Nelson. And it's Anderson in at the center.
It's been several years now since Andres Beatrice looked like he even wanted to be on the basketball court. But last year he said he did some mental rehab before the season and is looking for a fresh start. And I think it showed.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, Al Jefferson signed a 3-year, $40 million contract with the Bobcats this summer. He said growing up in small-town Prentiss, Mississippi, it's no problem for him playing in a small market, and he loves the fit with the team. Coach talked about the impact he can have, saying, quote, the toughest thing to do is execute in the half-court offense. But when you have a guy like Al, it makes it a lot easier. Guys?
Sure does. Thanks, Doris. Paul kicks it to West. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got 3 assists tonight. And for Beatrice, Steve, he admitted that he'd suffered from some confidence issues.
Well, anytime a player loses his confidence at the free throw line, particularly a big guy, it changes the way you play. Now you don't want to attack. You don't really want to aggressively go after the ball because you're afraid of being at that foul line. So a situation like this, you can understand how he could lose some of that enthusiasm for the game.
The Clippers trail. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. Paul dishes to Reddick. West leads him in there. And stolen by Mayo. And it's the Bobcats on the break. Mayo's running. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. There's no reason for these big men to shy away from contact on the inside because when they get to the foul line, you can see the success they've been having in the past month. In the third spot, David West.
And with those numbers at the foul line, he should be trying to get there as often as possible. Operating among the big bodies in the paint, you know, he gets those chances.
Well, it works 2 ways. I mean, he's very physical, understands how to draw fouls, and he's lethal once he gets to the line. But if you're defending him, you got to really watch how you body up on him so you don't send him to the line.
Doubled by Reddick. Nelson from outside. Rebound by the Clippers.
Well, you know, when you're a team that's young and can't score, it's hard to win anywhere, especially on the road, though. Bobcats just were often overmatched when they were on the road.
Gets it to go. That's 10 points for David West. Charlotte calls timeout. And as with any timeout at this point of the game, important to go over the strategies that are working and those that are needed in terms of adjustments. And, of course, the opportunity, guys, to get hydrated with Gatorade before coming back out of the floor. We've seen some good action so far, and there's more of it to come.
Yeah, this game has been physical, it's been fast, it's been high-paced. So anytime you're in a situation like this where it's really a hard-fought game, it's critical to keep yourself hydrated throughout.
For the Bobcats, Joel Freeland, he's checked in for Dion. Bang comes in for Landry Fields. And it's Kemba Walker in for Jameer Nelson. Going back to the Bobcats on the road, it was definitely their undoing as they ended up with a league-worst 6 road wins on the season. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, but it's just reality, too. I mean, when you don't have players who can score and attack and create offensively, you're going to struggle on the road. And they just didn't have anybody who was capable of carrying their team through the inevitable adversity that hits when you're on the road.
Fires from the corner. Aminu with the bucket.
Gotta love the inside-out game there, guys.
Charlotte's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Mayo kicks to Walker. The feet to Freeland. Jefferson. The 8-footer. Again, the Bobcats score. The Clippers have gone a nice 3 of 3 to start the second. Paul passes to Reddick. He feeds it to West. West, right side. Shoots from 8. Can't hit. Nice Steve from Freeland.
He's got a nice touch on that shot normally, but good defense there clogging the lane.
Poked away. Tries to keep it alive. And it's out of bounds to the Bobcats as Charlotte retains possession. Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Walker dishes to Mayo. Pass to Jefferson. Ball's knocked loose. West with the steal. Paul kicks to Aminu. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Aminu's got his second bucket of the night.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
Now here's Jefferson. Can't hit from in close.
Textbook defending there. He didn't give him an inch of space to get that shot off.
Yeah, great footwork and terrific positioning, Clark.
Paul with the ball. He's picked up by Walker. Paul passes to Reddick. And it comes off the front of the rim. And for the Bobcats, their shooting has been great, up over 50%. In fact, 52%. Here's Dang. Charlotte no good that time either. Clippers have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Walker against Paul. Reddick for 3. Can't get it to go. And the Bobcats going the other way now. Now here's Walker. 6 points for him. The dish to Freeland. Back to Walker. The tray. And that one's good. Walker's got 9 points.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
Here's Reddick. And O.J. Mayo pulls it down. Charlotte leading by 3. It's O.J. Mayo on the wing. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. That's 12 points for O.J. Mayo. Paul dishes to Reddick. West outside. Gives him the lead pass. Was shot by Reddick. No good.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
And Walker kicks to Jefferson. Nifty move. And the layup is up and in. And now a 7-point Bobcat lead.
Good work to tack some more points onto this lead.
Those are the kind of possessions they can build on and begin to pull away here.
Aminu with it. He's picked up by Walker. He kicks to Reddick. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. 6 to shoot. Passes it to Aminu. He dishes it to West. To halt the run. Uses the glass that time, and it's good. West has got 6 here in this quarter.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Walker the pass to Dent. Jefferson fended by Beatrice. Jefferson dishes to Mayo, and that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession.
And here we can check out the story on Chris Paul. Great year for him last year. First in steals, second in assists. And he was on the top 10 list in free throw percentage, something he really did a nice job of focusing and the concentration to knock down free throws.
And, you know, going back to what you said earlier, I mean, he was a flat-out thief on defense, one of those guys that took your lunch money.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. It was Amundsen who's checked in for Beatrice. Blair comes in for David West. Royce White's checked in for Al Farouk Aminu. Hardaway is subbed in for J.J. Redick. Chris Anderson is checked in for Charlotte. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. Clippers trailed by 5. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Here is Telfair. Back to Paul. And that one goes long.
Well, if this game comes down to the rebounding battle, they'll be the ones coming out on top.
Yeah, they've been really strong in the paint, battling the glass.
Now here's Henderson. Off with the layup.
Gerald Henderson coming off his best season, guys. Three-point shooting was one of his weaknesses, and he made a huge leap in that area. Shot around 37% from the arc. Much better than... first 3 seasons.
Here's Paul. He's got 10 from the stripe, and that one's good. Paul's got 12 in the game. Bobcats leading by 3. Well, going back to Henderson in the three-point shot, despite his improvement, not one he leaned on that heavily.
Well, that's smart, because if you're not a great three-point shooter, you've got to be very selective. And more often than not, Henderson would shoot the corner 3 but avoid the longer ones. That's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of a player who understands his limitations.
The Clippers have gone 6 of 12 in the second quarter, right at the 50% mark from the field. Telfair kicks to Blair. Paul. Paul missing again. Charlotte's gotten into trouble with the 3-ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts.
Hey, I think we all knew that the Clippers were good last year, but we really took notice when they rattled off those 17 wins in a row in December. That was a franchise record, which had previously been 11, and that's when the league really took notice.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Hey, guys. Well, for Doc Rivers, the former Boston Celtics head coach and now new Los Angeles Clippers head coach, and certainly a tough emotional choice for Rivers to move on. His quote saying, "I always knew when I took the job with Boston that I would love the Celtics. I knew I would love the tradition and the players, but I had no idea how much I would fall in love with the city and the people in it. Honestly, I get emotional thinking about it. I will cherish every single moment I had in Boston. And guys, hopefully that love returned by the Beantown faithful."
Well, Doris, that fan passion can cut both ways. Sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. And that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession. Well, it was the year of the win streak last season with Miami doing what they did and Denver getting hot as well. But you know, Steve, the Clippers had the first lengthy win streak and turned some heads earlier in the season.
What was that, about 17 games in a row they won? And I thought that kind of established the Clippers in the West, put a little fear in the rest of the conference, and gave L.A. a swagger that helped them get through the rest of the season.
Here's Walker after the made shot from White on the wing dang. And the pass to Millsap. And stolen by White. Now the Clippers moving it up. Paul, he's covered by Anderson. And they take the lead. 14 points for Chris Paul. And a closer look here at the hustle stance for the Clippers.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And we're also seeing a lot of fast break hoops, so this team doing a nice job getting easy points.
Backing down is White. Fades away. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. White's got his second bucket of the night.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
Henderson kicks to Dang. Walker. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. White left side. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Tell you what, we haven't seen them be as aggressive driving the lane and drawing fouls in this quarter, but so far it hasn't cost them on the scoreboard.
And I think part of the reason it hasn't cost them is they went at them hard in the first quarter, and now they're picking them apart a little bit from the outside. I don't think they can get too comfortable out there, though, or the lead could start to dissipate. Bobcats came out of the gates fast to start the season, 1-7 of the first 12. Amazingly, that actually tied their win total from the previous season that had been shortened, and they set a record for a team matching the previous year's win total in the fewest games, but unfortunately it didn't last.
Here's Paul. The Bobcats making the shot. Puts it up from 17, and it's White missing.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's going to take his game to the next level.
Henderson passes to Walker. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, Clark, as you said, that hot start would quickly vanishes. Those 7 wins would end up being an entire third of their total wins of the year. Steve, once the meat of the season came around, they just couldn't keep up.
Well, reality always sets in the NBA, Kevin. I mean, when you don't have enough talent, you might get off to a hot start, but it's all going to turn around, and that's exactly what happened with Charlotte. But look, they're getting better. I like some of their young players. They're competing. I think this team has a better future than people realize. Well, since the first quarter, we've seen them ease off that long-distance game a little bit, and it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, you know, Steve, some teams would prefer to just shoot their way out of a slump, but getting a few to drop from inside the arc is really a good way to get your offense back on track.
And so it looks like the Bobcats will retain possession here. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession.
Just got a little careless on that pass. They should be able to connect on those.
12 seconds left in the first half. Now Telfair. Jefferson dishes to Blair. Blair gets the screen from Telfair. Second quarter ends in a tight one. Clippers lead by 2. And coming up after the break, it'll be... Both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. It's been a clinic by Chris Paul.
You know, he spoils us with his performances game in and game out, and so far, just another big scoring night for him.
Typically, when he puts up that many points in the first half, he's going to follow it up with a better second half. We'll see if that happens here.
CP3 at point with Redick there, the backcourt. Al Farouk Amino is out there with West. And it's Biedrins in at the 5, down low. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Back to Paul. Solid shot from the distance of about 14 feet. Paul's got 16. 7 lead changes now, and we're just in the third quarter.
Yeah, each side having a tough time staying in front.
Well, the fans love it. It's a tug of war, back and forth affair, but if you're a coach, there's a little frustration here. You're trying to pull ahead, but evenly matched game.
Charlotte calls timeout.
Well, I tell you what, the Clippers playing in the Western Conference knew they'd have to take care of business facing Eastern Conference opponents, and they did. 21-9 against the East, and a bunch of highlight reel plays along the way.
And the Bobcats with a new group in. Al Jefferson's checked in for Anderson. Diaw comes in for Paul Millsap. Luol Deng is checked in for Landry Fields. And it's Mayo in for Gerald Henderson. Mayo with a screen for Walker. And again, Charlotte with the triple. And for the Clippers against the East, they had a winning record against every division out there. That's exactly what any coach, Steve, would hope for at the start of the season.
And you'll remember the Clippers went on that big streak in December, and I think the early part of the season they won 17 games in a row. A lot of those games out on the road back east. So I thought that established the tone for the Clippers for last year.
Outside Deng. Back to Walker. Kicks to Diaw. Charlotte moving the ball around. Deng passes to Jefferson. Shot clock at 6. Here's Diaw. And a miss there on the triple. Clark, one thing we've seen from these guys is excellent. Ball move.
And you love to see that, Kevin. I mean, I love watching unselfish play, and I know Steve enjoys that too.
Yeah, that's the best part of the game. I mean, a five-man team game where the ball moves. There's so much unselfish play. It's beautiful to watch.
For Charlotte, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half.
Boris Diaw from France, really a unique player. I mean, he came into the league, guys, as more of a playmaking small forward. Now he plays at the power forward spot, and he's still much more of a passer than he is a scorer.
And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
What a finish with that hoop.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And you can hear the reaction of the fans to that call.
Well, it's obvious they did not like it, Steve.
And Clark, you mentioned Diaw's skill level. Not the biggest or most athletic guy, but, you know, Steve, he's still effective.
He's really a great basketball player. What I mean by that, just he knows angles, he knows how to use his body to create passes and shots for himself. And defensively, he's very effective, particularly guarding the post because of his strength.
And Walker kicks to Diaw. Pass to Jefferson. Leaps for it. And that's out of bounds. Charlotte will retain possession. Let's pop over to our 2K leaderboard to see which power forwards and centers have had the most productive last month offensively. 5th best, David West.
And there are different styles among those big men, but they have one thing very much in common. They can dominate offensively, face up or back to the basket. They can get it done.
And that's what makes that list so intriguing to me, Steve, just how varied it is in terms of technique each of those big men use. I mean, you could fill a textbook taking a little piece of each of their games. I mean, they all do something different and unique and do it well.
Here's Redick, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Redick's got his second basket of the night.
Everything working for him out of the half as they've hit 4 of their first 5 shots.
Walker dishes to Deng. Back to Walker. He passes to Mayo. Diaw. Outside Mayo. Launches it. They grab their own miss. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them likes it.
West a screen on Walker. Paul. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Paul's got 18 points. And Clark, a great competitive game so far.
Yeah, tit for tat. I mean, back and forth, plenty of lead changes. An excellent play.
These two teams, guys, look so evenly matched to me. I think this could go right down to the wire.
It was Amundsen who's checked in for Los Angeles. Mayo kicks to Jefferson. Diao outside Mayo. 6 to shoot. Dang passes to Walker. Drills the three-pointer. Walker's got 6 here in this quarter.
You know, their three-point shooting since halftime is about as good as you could possibly ask for, guys.
Now's the time to put the pedal to the metal, boys. Keep firing those deep balls and build that lead up.
Paul dishes to Amundsen. And the shot is good. Amundsen's got his first 2 points of the night.
Wow, what a clever pass that time by Chris Paul.
Feeds it to Diao. On the wing, Dang. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
Boy, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip. They've got a battle inside.
Well, this game has been tough, Clark. I mean, they're getting after it. And I think they're starting to run a little bit low on energy, possibly.
Here's Paul. Amundsen inside. Jefferson on him. They double him with Dang. Second shot opportunity. And David West, the bucket on the assist from Reddick. And that's 18 points for David West. And Walker kicks to Diao. Outside Mayo. And Al Farouk Aminu gets the whistle that time. That's his third foul of the game.
Tough break for the defense. He took the heat and drew the whistle.
Yep, but when you get there late, that's what happens.
Mayo drives in, and that one's good. Mayo's got 14 points for the game.
And I like that move to the hoop. You use your speed, go around the bigger defender.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
Well, you know, this last offseason, the Bobcats announced their intention to change the team name to the Hornets, reclaiming the name of the original Charlotte franchise that left for New Orleans in 2002.
Paul Millsap's checked in for the Bobcats. And here is Paul. 18 points for him. Off they go on a 3-on-1 break. Walker the pass to Dang. The rebound by Blair. Blair's got his third rebound tonight. And just like New Orleans chose a name, the Pelicans, that has local significance, the Hornets, a historical reference to Charlotte's rebellious fighting spirit during the American Revolution. Steve, you were just telling me about this. Fascinates you.
It does. I'm an American history buff, Kevin, and I'm also an NBA history buff. And you think back to the Hornets in Charlotte originally, they sold out for 9 straight seasons. So the Hornets nickname absolutely belongs in Charlotte.
Dang dishes to Millsap. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up that possession.
Paul kicks to Reddick. His three-pointer's off the mark.
Nobody near him. He'll normally make that one.
Walker the pass to Dang. Dishes it to Millsap. And there's the rejection. And Kemba Walker is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Paul dishes to Reddick. The three-pointer, no good. Charlotte in the lead. After this one, they're off to Sacramento to take on the Kings. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip. Mayo, that's good.
And you can feel the pattern of this game, guys. They're working it inside, dominating in the paint, getting good shots at will.
Well, 4 of their last 5 baskets, guys, have been of exactly that variety.
Blair backing down with his first shot attempt. That one off the back iron and out. Bobcats leading by 3. And Walker kicks to Jefferson. Takes the lead pass. Whoops, anticipated the pass. Turnover. Aminu the pass to Reddick. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Millsap's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
I'm not sure what he was thinking about there. That's a strange foul.
Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to take a break for a minute.
And here's Mayo for 3.
Very little success for him behind the arc today. Just 1 3-pointer in the first half and still none in the second.
And Walker kicks to Dang. Back to Walker. And here's Mayo from beyond the arc. Here's Millsap. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, probably the right play defensively. If you can't get the block, send them to the free throw line. Don't give them an easy 2.
No easy buckets inside. Force free throws and work to keep them out of the lane next time around.
So for the Clippers, Viadrich comes in for Louis Amundsen. And it's Jefferson in for Al-Farouq Aminu.
You know, I love watching a guy like Paul Millsap play because he's so efficient in his movement, and he's crafty. He's able to score big numbers on guys much bigger than him.
Paul kicks to Blair. Back to Paul. Lock at 6. Into Blair. Gets the bucket.
What a play. The hoop plus the horn.
Excellent concentration on the finish. That's big time.
And Millsap, not quite 6'8", but he's got everything else. Motor, skill level, and Steve IQ for the game.
Yeah, very well-rounded. His wingspan really helps defensively. He's led all power forwards in steals in each of the last 3 seasons, so he really does a nice job defensively.
Charlotte calls timeout.
They've been committing a lot of turnovers, and I imagine that's exactly what they're talking about right now. They need to tighten it up.
So for the Bobcats, Chris Anderson is checked in for Jefferson. Landry Fields comes in for Luol Deng. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Kemba Walker. Fields dishes to Millsap. Tipped away. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And Jefferson throws it down hard.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Nelson kicks to Fields. Back to Nelson. Right at the free throw line. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
Mayo. Back to Nelson. There's the feed to Fields. Expanding his range. It's rebounded by Telfair. Goes up. A huge slam. The perfect end of the fast break.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
He feeds it to West. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Really an extraordinary game for David West. 18 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
Well, that's obviously not a big number, but you know, he's been doing some valuable defensive work for him.
Nelson with it. And there's the call on Sebastian Telfair. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. Breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Clippers.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
Another factor here tonight has been the amount of points they've scored off turnover.
Al Jefferson is checked in for Chris Anderson. West defended by Jefferson. And again, it's the Clippers missing. Charlotte trailing. And Fields kicks to Millsap. Viadrich with the steal.
Oh, man, what a play. I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatic.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
I'm with you, Kevin. You can't fault him for that. Just let him go. Who cares?
Mayo kicks to Nelson. No good from outside.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way. They got to keep fighting their way to the line, guys. This half, it's been nothing but success for them there.
And their confidence has to just continue to go up the longer the perfection continues.
You know, CP3 did a lot of things, guys, to change the culture of the Clippers, but one that maybe gets overlooked is how much he encourages and modeled talking on defense with this team. If you don't call out a screen or a rotation on his team, he'll call you out about it.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
Back to Jefferson. To the middle. Nelson, defended by Telfair. Nelson with another miss. And we've seen the Clippers turn around over the last few years. It doesn't just happen purely with talent, although it helps certainly. But, Steve, a lot of it has to do with the change in the team's mindset.
Yeah, you can load up a team with a bunch of scorers and talented players, but if they aren't playing for each other and motivated to have each other's backs, then it does nothing. And I think Paul has done wonders for just the chemistry and the mindset of this Clippers team.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Hardaway for three. That falls. Great assist by Sebastian Telfair. Telfair's got his fourth assist with that last one here tonight. Nelson, the pass to Millsap. West on him. Millsap dishes to Nelson. The 17-footer goes down. Nelson's got 7 points. It'll count. Cannot hit. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Los Angeles on top, up 11. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Charlotte calls timeout. One of the stories here, David West, getting it done today.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
A fool if I take it out for granted. A smart man if I keep my feet planted to the earth, because the people that hurt can understand it.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Over the break, I listened in on what head coach for the Bobcats was getting across in their huddle. He's not pleased with the careless turnovers offensively, saying, listen, we've got to get shots. It's as simple as that. We have to play smart and value the basketball. Kevin did it sink in.
On the court for Charlotte. Perry in the backcourt. It's Walker and Henderson. Al Jefferson out there with Paul Millsap. And it's Dang in at the 3 spot.
What a great play to sacrifice his body and take the hit.
Yeah, I thought that was excellent awareness and anticipation to beat him to the spot there.
Hardaway, no good. Bobcats trailed by 11. Here's Henderson. And counts the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Purely from a size standpoint, that is a mismatch that's going to be hard to overcome defensively. One thing Al Jefferson has worked on through his career is being able to pass better out of the post. And for a guy who draws as much attention as he does on the block, that's a nice asset to have.
Telfair kicks to Blair. Pass to Hardaway. Clippers moving the ball around. 6 on the shot clock. Out of bounds, Clippers ball as the Clippers keep possession.
6 seconds.
Just 5 to shoot. Rejected by Millsap. Blair. And can't hit the shot, but they're saying he got hacked, so he'll head to the free throw line. Paul Millsap picks one up. That free throw, no good. And Clark, you mentioned where Al Jefferson has improved. You know, borderline all-stars. You wonder if Stevie is going to get to the next level.
Well, I think the big thing is he's got to improve defensively because his offense is really played at an all-star level. He's really tough to guard down there. But defensively, he's a little slow guarding pick and roll. But if he continues to work at it and maybe improve a little bit, I think he could get into that all-star game. You know, one of the bright spots last year for Charlotte was the fact that Kemba Walker showed a lot of leadership with that team. I thought he had a marked improvement from his rookie season. A lot of it had to do just with his confidence.
Well, Clark, and back to Walker. Last season averaging about 18 points and 6 assists. Do you think he's more of a scoring point guard or a passer?
I think he's a guy who has to play off of his ability to score to create opportunities to pass. I think he's one of those guys that is most effective when he's attacking and looking to score, because that sets up his ability to pass and really helps his team, I think, get easier shots.
Good on the three-point shot. Henderson's got 9 points here in the second half.
Well, he's so steady. You don't see a lot of ups and downs with this guy. He just brings it every single night.
Yeah, unflappable, impenetrable is the word I'd use for him, Steve. Look that one up if you get a chance.
I think I will.
Never suffers any of those crises of confidence that other players do.
Impenetrable.
And the Clippers call time here.
Gerald Henderson, a 6'5" shooting guard out of Duke, guys, and we all know his father played in the NBA for 13 years and was a member of a Celtics championship team back in the mid-'80s. Gerald Jr. came into the league rebounding and defending at a high level very early.
And the Bobcats have changed their look on the floor. West, that's good. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Now here's Walker. There's the dish to Anderson. To the paint. And that one's good by Henderson. Henderson's got 8 points here in this quarter. And speaking of Henderson, Steve, you can tell he's really put the work in to improve his game.
Yeah, I like his game. He's shown improvement both with his shooting and his playmaking. I thought he was kind of a straight-line drive guy coming out of Duke, but now he's able to navigate his way around screen and rolls, and he's always been a really good on-ball defender.
And it's Walker penetrating, hangs in midair, and converts on the double clutch layup. Walker's got 10 points in just the second half. Paul gets a screen from West. Paul passes to West. Not enough on that one as it misses. Bobcats trail by 4. He kicks it to Henderson. And he dumps it down.
Well, when they desperately needed to get things turned around, they were able to do it and claw their way back in.
And they fed off their defense just as much as their offense in putting this run together.
Paul kicks to Reddick. Paul dishes to Reddick. There's the 3. And that one's good. And the Clippers lead by 5.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Passes it to Day. Back to Walker. He dishes it to Jefferson. Takes a big high bounce and goes in.
Feels like a flip has been switched at halftime because both teams now really getting after it.
And it's been a fun half of basketball, Steve.
Paul gets a screen from Beadrinch. Beadrinch a screen. The open shot, Paul loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper.
That's really set them apart today, guys. That success from the mid-range.
Well, these are two teams that clearly you've seen the difference in offensive philosophies here. He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
And that call gets an instant reaction from the fans.
Well, that's a whistle that did not go over very well.
Reddick with the 3. And the rebound goes to Anderson. Anderson's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Here's Walker. Gets a hand on it. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. And now just a 1-point Clipper lead.
Smooth, guys. Very good job there of getting himself in close enough that he could just tip it back in.
And you know, those kind of plays in the offensive glass can tell the story sometimes as much as any single play in a game.
Yeah, they really can. I mean, they can't allow him to beat them to so many of those offensive rebounds. That'll kill you.
Outside Dang. And there's the pass to Jefferson. Back to Dang. And Anderson kicks to Walker. But they recover it. Jefferson passing to Henderson. Went in there and tried to power it down, but through contact, he'll head to the line.
What a game we've seen here for Henderson. He has 15 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
Well, they might want to think about setting a few more screens for him to try to give him another open look or two.
So, for the Clippers, it was Amundsen who's checked in for Beadrich. And it's Blair in for David West. And he makes both free throws.
Well, you know, Big Al Jefferson was a name that was getting tossed around the trade rumor mill last deadline, and that's something you have to expect when you're as talented as he is with a contract that's set to expire.
Boy, has he picked it up in the second half. He's on fire.
And Walker kicks to Jefferson. Dang. He passes it to Henderson. And here's Walker outside. Dang dishes to Jefferson. That's good. Jefferson's got 6 in the quarter.
You know, it's really going to be all about hard work from this point on. And they worked hard to create that high-quality shot right there.
Yeah, and that's their goal down the stretch. Continue to find those close-range shots.
Amundsen, the pass to Blair. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Here's Walker. Kicks it to Henderson. Paul with the steal. Now, here's Aminu. Defense is right there. And Chris Anderson picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Clippers with the ball. A drive by Paul. And Chris Anderson picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Paul against Walker. Paul kicks to Reddick. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got assist number 11 for him here tonight. And the Bobcats call time here.
From the last few years, it's been debated between Paul, Williams, and Rose as to who the best point guard in the league is. I think I would have to put Steph Curry in that conversation now. I would lean towards Paul's dominance and ability to turn around the Clippers as putting him just a notch ahead of the other guys on the list.
I'm so I grew up really want to go once, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang race.
Diaz checked in for Charlotte. Mayo comes in for Gerald Henderson. Bobcats trail by 7. And Clark, last season's survey of league GMs agreed. Chris Paul voted the top point guard in the NBA. I don't have a problem with that, Steve. You?
It's either him or Tony Parker, but I could go either direction there. But what you love about Paul is that he does everything. He defends, he scores, passes. He kind of just figures out what's needed during the game, and then he delivers for his team.
Diao dishes to Mayo. Leans inside. And it's out of bounds to the Bobcats as Charlotte retains possession. Andres Biedrins is checked in for Los Angeles. Aminu comes in for Richard Jefferson. And the Bobcats with possession here. They trail by 7. And it's Andres Biedrins with the foul. And that'll be his third foul so far. For the Clippers, Amundsen comes in for Andres Biedrins. And it's Jefferson in for Al-Farouq Aminu. Diao, the pass to Mayo. Lock at 6. Feeds it to Anderson. Misses from close range.
That was not pretty there. You got to make that one, but that's not his range.
Reddick, who's working against Walker. And Reddick kicks to Paul. Here's West. Gets it to go. And now it's a 9-point Clipper lead. Charlotte's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Paul against Walker. It's O.J. Mayo on the wing. Charlotte again missing.
Well, you have to get a hand into his face because that's his range right there.
And it's the Clippers' ball. They're on a 12-4 run. Back to West. Dishes it to Reddick. Lets it fly from 18.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots just have not dropped for him today.
Clippers moving the ball around. There's the triple. Count the bucket. Reddick's got 12 points now in the quarter.
Well, once a shooter, always a shooter. J.J. Redick, one of the great marksmen of all time at Duke in the college game. And it's kept on rolling here in the NBA. He's got deep range on his 3. Can spot up and shoot from anywhere, and also put the ball on the floor a couple times and create a shot inside.
Great shot is right. And like you said, not only threes, but Steve, any shot where you give Redick a chance to set his feet and get a clear view of the hoop, his shot form is just too consistent for him to miss. He's one of those players who works on that just so diligently. You know he's going to find a degree of success every time out there.
And they needed that hoop to try to stop this run.
They just seem to keep coming up empty. They've got to slow it down and get a good shot.
Paul dishes to Redick. Pass to West. Paul outside. On the wing. They get it back. West kicks to Paul. Lets the three fly. And it's out of bounds. The Bobcats will take it the other way. The Bobcats making a switch here. Millsap's checked in. Bobcats trail by 14. Walker goes in. Paul with the steal.
He just picked up his 4th personal foul, and now he's got some foul trouble hanging over his head, guys.
The free throw drops for Redick.
Well, it was kind of an up and down last few months for J.J. Redick. Traded away by his team of almost 7 years in Orlando, ended up making a pit stop in Milwaukee before bouncing back to the open market. And there was certainly demand for his services. Every team in the league can use a laser shooter.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Biedrins is checked in. Paul with the steal. On the top of the key, there's the bucket. Good. Paul's got 4 points in the quarter. And another solid year for Redick last season with two different teams.
Great shooter coming out of Duke. And you really have to respect how hard he's worked to round out his game. He's become more than just a spot-up shooter. He's a team defender. He can move without the ball, but he can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim and finish. I think he's become an excellent guard in this league.
Here's Millsap, and that one's good.
I think he's been kind of passive today. And, maybe that one will get him going. I think for them to be successful, he needs to be the one to do the bulk of the scoring.
Redick for 3. The Clippers keep it alive.
There's another opportunity, and everything's going right for these guys.
Jefferson passing to Paul. West dishes to Redick. And Biedrins kicks to Jefferson. The 3 ball was shot by Redick, no good. Bobcats trail by 16. The feed to Mayo, and they cash in right away with the quick shot.
If this had come earlier, they might have been able to get back into it.
Yeah, but as it is, too little, too late.
And the Clippers call time here. They lead by 14. 56 seconds left in the game. And the Bobcats with a new group in. Now Telfair into Blair. He feeds it to Telfair. And the Clippers miss again. Charlotte's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up.
O.J. Mayo is out of USC. He's in his 6th season in the NBA, fellas, and he was considered the top player in his high school class. Very, very highly regarded. He's yet to be a star at the professional level, but I think he's looking to solidify himself as a quality starter.
And Kemba Walker is going to pick up the foul. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And for O.J. Mayo, 6'4" player. Some people saw him as a guy who could play point guard, shooting guard. He's just a player, though. I think he can do a lot of things on the floor.
Well, he's a decent ball handler, but he's a shooting guard. I mean, he can be a little bit of a combo guy, but for the most part, he's out there to score, and most of those points coming off jump shots.
And Los Angeles guys shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. Back to Jefferson. Off the screen. Almost, but it rolls out.
Nobody anywhere close to him. Where's the defense? He's got to make that shot, though.
Dang passes to Mayo. Here is Telfair. So the Clippers winning this one easily. Mark, every team has a bad night. These guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
Well, that'll do it. For Dorisburg, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as